for all of us.
Oh yes, that was our happiest days.
What is the best piece of advice that you could give to your children and your grandchildren?
Always honor your father and your mother. Always remember to do what you think is right. And gosh, always keep the faith. And do what you want to do in life. I mean, if you want, no matter what you want to be, if that's what you want to be, you should always shoot for your goal. I've always told my kids that if they want to go to college, they should go and shoot for their goal. If they don't want to go, then they stay home and do what they want to do. They want to be a carpenter or a bricklayer or electrician or whatever. That's what they want to be.
What's your favorite saying you always tell all of us? I must hear it at least once a day to be
always say to yourself, I am me. Always say to yourself, and you be me.
Who is your best friend?
My best friend is all my kids are my best friends, but also when I was growing up, and to this day right now, my best friend is my sister Doris.
What was the best year in your life?
The best year. December around the 10th or 12th of December, your dad came home from the South Pacific. That was
one of the best
that was
years?
the best day of my life. We got to see his daughter for the first time. She was going on 3 years old.
Who was that?
Joanne.
Any other best years?
When Cindy was born, she was healthy. And then when you were born, the doctor told me you were going to be okay. And when Lanny came out of his coma, his automobile accident, he had some tough times, but he survived.
What would you want to pass on to your children and your grandchildren? What piece of advice, what would you like to pass on?
To be themselves. Don't try and be anything else but themselves. And to always honor their beliefs. Always, oh gosh, there's so many things I can think of. I'd like the kids to be. Always never get in trouble.
What do you want to be remembered for? What do you want your little grandchildren to tell their children about you? What do you want them to pass on about you or be remembered for?
That I was a loving and caring mother and grandmother. So I want them to remember. And also want my kids to remember that you can't buy love. You got to give it.
If you could do anything over in your life, what would you do over?
I can't remember what I would do over.
Anything you could change, if you could wave a magic wand and change anything, do anything over.
I've been sorry for things that I've done before I got married, but I'm not sorry for them now. I just think what will be, and our future's not ours to see. It's, I've always thought I've been a good mother, at least I tried. I've worked hard all my life. How do I want my kids to be remembered?
I just if there was anything you could change, so there's nothing you can change. Nothing? What do you feel are your strong points?
My faith.
Okay.
That faith was brought on to me by my mother and dad. My mother's faith, she was strong. She always fed the bums, she didn't care. She thought that it's better to give than receive. She fed the bums she wouldn't let them in the house, but she let them sit on the porch, but she never turned anybody away. Never.
What do you think are your weak points?
My nerves.
Nerves?
My nerves. My nerves. I wasn't an alcoholic. I smoked. That maybe was one of my weak. But when we were young, that was it. Just like your blue jeans are in now, that was in.
Can't hear nothing.
Go to bed.
You don't want me to hear, right?
When you were younger, Mom, go back to when you were younger and after you graduated from high school, what did you do?
I worked at the unemployment office. I was training. And then I got called to the U.S. government. I worked at Fort Brady for, till after 42. After 43. 4 years.
Worked there for 4 years?
Yeah. I worked in the colonel's office, the commander-in-chief. It was the commander-in-chief, commander. I worked in his office, and we done the newspaper, the weekly newspaper, me and my sister Doris. And I was his private secretary. And we would put out the paper, we would type them on stencils. I don't know if you know what stencils are. And then they would run them off on the machine, and we'd put that paper out every week. And then I got transferred to the commissary, where I was, I worked in the commissary for a while as cashier, and then I got transferred from there to receptionist. I was the office receptionist at the door. Nobody could get past in to see the sergeant or anything unless I was there. I worked there 3 years.
Now let's just talk about your teenage years. I'm going to talk about your teenage years and lead up to when you two met and how you met. Okay, you want to start, Mom?
Teenage years? Oh my gosh. Well, we used to go when we were 14, 15, and 16 and 17 years old. We went to midnight movies all the time. We went with a guy that lived behind Walter Hutzela was his name. and he had a car, and he would pick us all
Your
up,
chair's
and we'd
pretty
go
hot,
to
Ellen.
the midnight
Where?
movie. We would go to a midnight movie and get
Huh?
home at 2 o'clock.
It's okay?
We're recording. We're recording.
I don't care if you're recording or not. I said, your chair's pretty hot.
Well, they won't get hot. It's got a screen on it.
Fire, pretty easy.
Ready? I won't have to marry
Let's start over. Okay, continue and just tell me about your teenage years.
Cheers, it's just. Well, we worked hard,
Mm-hmm.
Get too many lights in
and
the
the only time we
background.
ever went out was on Saturday night.
Shining right in ours.
And then we
Real sweet.
go to the midnight movies. And then that's what I did in my teenage years, just until I met your dad. I was working at the Army base, and it was one night when we were, me and Dolores was her name, and her boyfriend was what do you call those guys? MP. And they always picked us up to take us home because that was the Army rule. And it was kind of early when we got done working that night. And she asked her boyfriend if he'd take us up to Gould's. So we went up there, her and I. They let us off. And I walked into the hall. And I knew Chester Graham because he graduated with my sister and he was with your dad. And this guy got up and he said to me, "You want to dance?" And I said, "Can you dance?" And he said, "Yeah." So we danced, and that's how we did.
How old were you?
I was,
20?
yeah,
How old was Dad?
21. Good.
Dad, do you remember when you and Mom first met?
What?
Do you remember when you and Mom first met? You asked him.
Do you remember when we met?
When we met? Is that Gould's?
Yeah.
Gould's Dancing Hall.
Do you remember what Mom had on?
What?
Do you remember what Mom had on? What she looked like?
What she had?
What she was wearing? Do you remember what Mom was wearing and what she looked like?
Oh. Not really.
Not really. What?
She's pretty.
She's pretty. So how long did you guys date?
Are we on tape now?
Yeah.
Oh.
How long did you guys date?
3 years.
For only a year? Did you date just on weekends or
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I worked. Yeah.
what did you like to do on dates? Where'd you
We
go?
go dancing.
Go dancing. So you and Dad both like to dance. What kind of dance did you do?
Waltz and polka and what's the name of that now?
It's your turn.
The waltz and the polka?
And the other thing is like county line dancing, but it is something.
Where was your first kiss? Do you remember?
I remember that first kiss.
Do you remember your first
We on
kiss?
tape now?
Yeah. Do you remember your first kiss?
Huh?
Do you remember your first kiss?
My first kids?
Kiss.
Kiss?
Uh-huh.
Not really.
Not really?
Not really. I don't know if we kissed first night, did we, Helen?
No.
No.
Do you remember?
Yeah, because I had to go home with the MPs.
Where did Dad propose to you at?
My mother's.
At your mother's? Tell me about that.
My dad made him get on his hands and knees,
Uh-huh.
propose to me. My
Uh-huh.
house.
Uh-huh. What'd your dad say?
Just said yes.
Uh-huh. Did he have a ring for you?
Mhm.
What did it look like? Was it a diamond or?
Yeah, gold with a little diamond in it, and the wedding band had 6 little diamonds in it.
Uh-huh.
I lost them.
Where'd you lose them?
I didn't lose them, they were stolen, remember when they broke?
Someone broke into your house?
Yeah.
Tell me about your wedding.
We were married at St. Married at St. Francis Xavier Church in Brimley, Michigan. We were married by Reverend
Can't hear a word.
Father Robert Cordy. And after the wedding, we had a dinner. It was in a schoolhouse, which was later my mother and dad's home.
Oh, really?
Yeah, an orchestra. And then for dinner, for supper, we went to Red Jordan, Michigan, where they have a community building.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we had our wedding supper, which was served by Leo's parents. And we had another band there.
Wow. Who was in your wedding?
My sister Doris and Homer were our
I
best
can't
man and
hear a word what she
bridesmaid.
said.
Our bridesmaid and best man.
Doris was your...
Matron of honor, Pearl was my bridesmaid.
Okay.
Homer was his best man, and August was his. Stay louder?
Talk louder.
Okay. And August was his attendant.
Uh-huh. Do you have flower girls? Ring bearer, did they do that?
Mhm.
Where'd you go on a honeymoon? What'd you do for a honeymoon?
We just went to a hotel. Friends who said we didn't go. We both had to be work on Monday.
So, what day did you get married and what year?
September the 5th, 1942.
So how many years have you been married now?
58 years in September.
Wow, 58 years. It's a long time.
Yep.
What advice would you give to your children on staying married that long?
What advice would I give my kids?
What's the secret?
Stay and fight.
Stay and fight?
Yeah.
What one moment did you realize that you loved Dad and he was the one you wanted to marry? What made you realize he was the one?
I don't know.
I can't hear a damn thing she said.
She wanted to know what reason was it that I picked you to get married and get married. What was the reason?
What
I
was
guess
the reason
because I
you-
loved him.
What was the reason you and I got married?
Yeah. 'Cause we loved each other, eh?
Because I fell in love with you.
Yeah, okay.
Why did you fall in love with Mom? What made you fall in love with Mom?
We met at a dance hall,
Uh-huh.
and she was a good dancer, and
Uh-huh.
she could follow me good.
Uh-huh.
She did sass. She looked like she's a perfect woman, you know.
Uh-huh.
And from then on, we went together and finally got married.
Right.
We dated, you know, like dancing again and stuff.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. What do you love about Mom?
What did I love about Mom?
Uh-huh.
Well, she was a pretty girl.
Mhm.
She was right. She was true to me, I thought,
Mhm.
in a way.
Mhm.
And I just loved her. She just fell in love.
Mhm. Why do you think you and Mom stayed married so long?
Why what?
Why did you and Mom stay married so long? Why do you think?
Why did we
Yeah.
stay married so long?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why did we get married so long? What do you mean? We're still married.
I know, that's what I mean. How did you stay married so long? What advice can you give? advice can you give to your children on how to stay married so long?
What advice did I give my children?
To stay married.
To stay married.
Yeah, not get divorced. Why? Why do you think you and Mom stayed together so long? What's the secret to a happy marriage?
You mean, why we went together so long before we got married, or what?
No, now. You've been married 58 years.
Yeah.
What's the secret to a happy marriage, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Just gotta treat one another right. When you say you're gonna do something, you do it. What? Right?
You're right. 'Cause I'm the boss. Hey,
What?
I'm the boss.
Right. Yeah.
If you could do anything over again, Dad, what would you do anything over again? Would you change anything?
No.
Nothing?
Uh,
You've had a happy life?
Yeah.
Good life?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we've ever had an argument that we didn't talk to one another the next day at least, or what? No.
Yeah, I left you one time. I was mad at you.
Tell me about that.
You're mad at me?
Yeah. So we
For
jumped in the car, me and Joe went up north.
For drinking or what? Why would I do it?
You told me I was no good.
What?
You told me I was no good.
I told you that you was no good?
Yeah,
Oh, did I?
you were drinking, yeah. So I packed and I left.
I don't remember.
I drove up north, me and Jill,
Where'd you go?
and the next day next morning you were there. That's it.
I don't remember that.
No, I do. I got a good memory.
What's your happiest memory, Dad?
My happiest memory?
Mhm.
I think that we get along so good. Yet even, maybe have little brawls and that, but I mean, the next day it's over with.
What advice can you give on raising children?
What advice can I give on raising children? No, I wouldn't know. She done all the raising. I don't know.
What advice can you give, Mom, on raising children? On being parents?
Just like you and Ronnie are doing right now, and give them love and a hug. Hug your children every day. And make them mind. Discipline, kids will love you for discipline. They'll never stop loving you. I still remember my father whipping me when I was 16 years old.
He whipped you when you were 16 years old?
Yes, sir,
What for?
because I told him to go to hell.
You told your dad that?
I told my dad that,
What happened?
because my brother stole my meat out of my plate. And my dad told us to stop fighting at the table. And I told my dad to go to hell. So up the stairs I run, my dad right behind me, my mom behind my dad. I got underneath the blankets, and my dad took his belt off, and he started spanking my butt. My mother said, "Don't kill her, don't kill her, don't kill her." And that was it. I never held it against my father because he done that, because it was my fault. I did wrong. That was it. I think remember the kids today, they don't have enough discipline. I really do. I mean, you can give a kid a spanking, you turn around and say, "I love you, and this is why I spanked you, because I want you to be what's really good for you. And we still love you." And I think when they gave up the punishment in the schools, I think that's when the schools went bazooka. And another thing I think what went wrong with the towns of today is when they took the bright lights off of the streets and put the yellow lights in to save money. That does not work, because the kids now can do things in these dark streets, or they couldn't before the streets were lit up.
What's the most enjoyable thing you've done in your life?
That's the most enjoyable thing again. Go to Hawaii, I love that. Just to be out of another country or something. It wasn't a country then, but it was different. I loved it over there.
What's the most enjoyable thing you did in your life, Dad?
Hard question.
What's a couple of them then?
A couple of them.
Couple of the most enjoyable memories you have.
You can move on the service.
I don't know.
No?
When you come home from the service.
Yeah, that'd be one, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was glad to be able to come home.
Right.
How many kids do we have then?
2.
2? Yeah.
Well, you seen your daughter for the first time too.
Yeah.
That's it. What's the saddest memory you have?
Huh?
What's the saddest memory you have?
The slightest, remember?
Saddest. The most sad. Sad.
Oh, sad?
What would you like to do with the rest of your life?
The rest of my life?
What would you like to do?
Live another 100 years and be in good health.
How about you, Mom?
What?
What would you like to do with the rest of your life?
I've always wanted to travel, see other parts of the country, the world. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to go to Las Vegas. I don't know why. And I'd also like to go to Ireland
Ireland?
or Rome. And what's the saddest day of my life is the losing of my mom and dad, my brothers. Sad. Also Leo's mother, because I was real close to her.
Is there any special message you'd like to give to each one of your children?
Just be happy.
Is there anything special you'd like to tell? Start with Judy. Is there anything special you'd like to tell her?
Tell her that I love her very much and she's been a very, very special daughter to me.
And Joanne?
I can't hear nothing.
Same thing. They're all special to me. Judy special, Joanne special, Cindy special, Sharon special, Jill special.
The boys.
Lanny, Leo, and Brian, all special. And all their kids.
Is there anything special you want to tell any of them?
Just do what your mom and dad did and keep the faith and be happy.
We're done. Want to see it?
Let the kids see it. I want to watch Larry King.
You didn't see it coming.